Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 685 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with a guy that's been on the show several times, and this guy is the highest achiever I know in my entire life. There is nobody I know that actually flunked out of both high school and college. I don't even know how you do such a thing. Anyway, he's quite an inspirational guy. He's a visibility guy for your business, show you, get your name out everywhere. And that's how I pretty much built my career before the internet, as I was on radio and TV all over the place. And that really ups your credibility, and it makes people call you rather than you calling begging for work. So he's going to talk to us today specifically about press releases, and then he's going to be doing a masterclass on our upcoming summit, Screw the Commute Summit, online summit in January, mid-January. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. So we'll bring him on in a minute. His name is Rob Garcia. And he's a member of the veterans group that I love so much, and that's how I met him. So bring him on in a minute. Hope you didn't miss episode 684. That was a copywriting technique called cost comparisons. I've been doing a lot of individual copywriting technique episodes. The one before that was 683, which was the reason why technique. Really, really important. So you don't want to miss these. This is the most important skill in my entire business career. 40, I don't know how many, 46, 7 years. I lost count. So, anytime you want to get to a back episode, you go to screwthecommute.com, and then the episode number, 684 was cost comparison, 683 was the reason why technique. All right, I want to thank everybody for our support in our new Patreon. All the proceeds are going, less the Patreon fees. I'm not taking a nickel for myself to support our scholarship program for persons with disabilities. So check that out at screwthecommute.com/Patreon. And then you've heard that I'm really hitting it hard on TikTok, and I want you to follow me there, leave comments, like stuff, and I've got tons, probably 150 little short videos up there for you now. So check that out at tiktok.com/the @. If you've never done this, it's the @ almost like an email address. tiktok.com/@ digital multimillionaire, and you'll get directly to my channel. All right, let's get to the main event. We got Dr. Rob Garcia, and he's been here before. We love him, and we love all his service for us in the Air Force, and he's a great visibility expert. But he's a former high school dropout turned PhD. Now, where do you see that? I don't even know how that happens. He's a serial entrepreneur that teaches business visibility. And he's founder of, and I'm going to say this carefully, Shift magazine, all right, and an Air Force veteran, and he still serves in the reserves. And he's also the director of strategy. This is something new I didn't know about him, for San Diego's IQ Media. I don't know what that is. And it says it's the largest independent media company in Southern California. So, Rob, are you ready to screw again?
I am absolutely ready to screw the commute, Tom.
All right. How you been, man?
Oh, really good. Just a lot of amazing things happening in my life, and a lot of new strategies to share with the listeners.
Awesome. What's the weather like there today in San Diego?
It's rained for 2 days straight. The sun is starting to peek out and starting to improve a little bit.
Well, what's the temperature?
Very cold.
What's the temperature?
It's probably in the 70s.
Oh, I feel so bad for you. Yeah, you suck. 70s. Well, it is not too bad, Virginia Beach, but it's still pretty chilly. So since I don't know about this IQ Media thing. Tell me about that. It's new since I last talked to you.
All right, so I'd linked up with a guy named Brett Davis, an incredible San Diego legend, and the guy's a radio station host. He's got 9 podcasts under his umbrella, and he recently got a radio station in LA, and then he also has a magazine, like a premium magazine. And he liked, we met through a mutual friend. He kind of liked what I did, And because I do press releases specifically, besides other visibility stuff, he thought I'd be a good addition to, his umbrella. And he said, "Hey, we need a director of strategy. You want to come on board?" And we announced it about a year ago, and it's just been incredible working with this guy. He's like you, Tom. He's very smart. He's a natural leader, and just really cares about education for business owners and entrepreneurs. And he's really big on just being a strong community leader. And that's what I like most about
What's
working with him.
what's his podcast about? 9 different podcasts? Holy.
Yeah, so he teaches business owners how to start their own podcast, and he kind of has an incubator where he does the production for them, and he teaches them how to monetize and stuff. So his main podcast is the Brett Davis podcast, and he interviews all kinds of interesting people, just anyone that's got a really crazy story, or a community founder or something. And he just recently hosted his own event for teachers at Sequan Casino, so he gave awards out to San Diego educators and support staff. It was great.
Wow. Well, yeah, I want to thank you so much, Rob, for referring me to him. I'm not good enough for his podcast, I guess.
I'm sure we'd get you some airtime. He'd probably love your stuff.
I think he would. Yeah, it's crazy. Talking about crazy stories. I had the Practical Joke company for a long time. I was on radio and TV all over the world because of it. That's where I really hit the publicity home run. Well, first of all, I want people to know this guy has been there and done that. I mean, he's written 8 books. He's done 135. I don't know. This might be old figures. 135 interviews. That's probably old. He started a magazine and won business awards. But just give him a brief on the rough beginnings, though. I mean, flunking out of high school and college is, like I said, you're a high achiever.
Yeah, I had a tremendous amount of trouble focusing in the classroom. So I had what we would call today ADD. Couldn't sit still. I couldn't. After about 7 minutes, I'd just start tuning out my teachers or thinking about video games or something, and I just had so many problems with learning. And then when I joined the Air Force at 21, and I was able to have that structure and food and some hope. And I had a bad family situation too.
Yeah, you said structure and food. I mean, so you had a tough childhood, huh?
Oh yeah. I moved. I figured this out. I don't even know if I talked about this last time I was on the show, but I moved 16 times in my childhood. And I didn't realize that was abnormal until I was in my 20s.
And was your parents, were you like an Army brat or Air Force brat, or is that just outside of military moving?
Oh no, there was no military in my family until I joined.
Yeah, because you hear that on military kids a lot of times, but oh boy.
Yeah, I was raised by a single parent, and they had a drug addiction, and it was just very unstable, and so we were always just packing up and moving.
Yikes. How did you? Well, you say, are you crediting the Air Force for getting you on the straight and narrow?
Yeah, it gave me a taste of the finer things in life, like caviar and lobster, and also gave me a chance to go to college and learn how to wear a uniform and discipline, all that good stuff. I worked on B-52 bombers, and I came to San Diego in 2002 with a bachelor's degree in hand, and then I just started kind of veering to entrepreneurship and started doing these small things that added up. And I'll tell you, Tom, I played the long game. So I started entrepreneur stuff when I was about 30. And, I enrolled in my PhD in education. I started writing books. I started thinking, okay, I hate being in a cubicle. I hate working for somebody. I hate not making the money that I'm worth. And so all of this stuff over time all panned out. And so the early seeds that I planted at 30 yielded amazing fruit. I'm 46 now, and I've got 9 income streams. I've got 8 books published. I've got a magazine that comes out every 2 months. We actually featured you in the new one in the Ask the Pros section. We always interview a very high ranking entrepreneur, and we ask them a good business question. But the things that I did at 30 made my life very easy at 46, but it takes time. And that's the biggest thing I want to share with the listeners. It's okay to not be successful, in a year or two. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad. Some things take time to develop. I had to take time to learn how to write properly and how to get results for clients and how to get people on the news and all the visibility stuff. And I had to learn how to optimize my business model. And it took a while, and I've been my own boss for about 6 years, hardcore, like no, not working for anybody, completely doing it on my own. But I'm going to say, like, the first couple of years are going to be brutal. They just are. And you got to find a mentor. You got to develop your systems and processes, and you got to get out of a poverty business model. That's a big one.
Yeah. And that's a tough message for a lot of today's youth that want to be entrepreneurs, because they go on TikTok or something and they get 1 million views and they think, oh, I'm the greatest business person on earth. And then that 1 million views doesn't necessarily turn into money. So to support yourself.
No, you're completely right, Tom. And there's a big difference. And I've created content about this very topic. There's a big difference between being popular and being skilled.
Yep.
And so I admire, these younger people that are doing TikToks and Instagram and having giant followings, but they need to take that next step and realize, oh, I need to be selling something and I need to connect more with my audience versus marketing at them and just throwing content at them and hoping they like it. I need to talk to these people. I need to connect with them. I need to find out what they like. When I go on Facebook and I start talking to people and people start commenting on my stuff, I know what they do. I know where they live. I know who's having a baby today. All this stuff.
Yeah, I'm usually afraid when I find out if they're having a baby. I want to make sure it's not mine. So, but that's this TikTok. The way it's growing so fast for me is every comment. As we speak, I have like a TikTok video going viral. When I talked to you, it was 85,000. I don't. By the time we're done, I don't know how big it'll be. But every comment that comes in, I respond to. Because I'm talking to the people, not just throwing stuff at them. And that's one of the ways you grow on any kind of medium faster. In fact, when I first started my business online, that was 1994. When an order would come in, I would actually call each person. I couldn't possibly do it now, but I call each person and thank them personally, and they just couldn't believe it, because and some of them are still customers today after all these years. So, all right. So how did you get into the publicity and visibility aspect of your work?
So it was a natural transition. I started just telling my story, and I started getting podcast interviews. And this was the early days of podcasts. After I'd gotten about 20 interviews, I realized there's some skill here. A lot of people didn't know how to get on interviews, and I got on TV a few times, and I started just racking up interviews. This is probably my 215th interview, and it's not anti on numbers, but it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, pretty darn good.
But that was what really got me interested, and I started really delving into it. And I started working with people and teaching them, okay, this is how you create your angle. This is what would be most interesting to a producer or a reporter. And then I got into, okay, this is how you check a news station's website, the 2 ways you can apply to get a news story on, the difference between pitching a station versus pitching a reporter. And then visibility. Everything I learned after that just went under the visibility umbrella. So I founded the magazine so that I could, give coverage to the things I cared about and sell advertising at the same time. I bartered a lot of interviews by cross-promoting people that wanted to be featured, and then they would interview me. And then I added press releases a few years ago, and that was the unbelievable part of my business that was a great traffic driver for clients. It got them featured in specialized publications. And it's a very easy process for me as a writer to learn. But the thing is, press releases specifically, a lot of people don't know this, Tom, but they have to be formatted. So you can't just write an article and submit it and hope that it's going to work. They have word limits. They have about 7 different sections that have to be specific, and then you have to know what hosting sites to upload them to. And so these are all the things I had to kind of self-learn, and it's worked out well. And I've also added business articles. So I'm a writer for LinkedIn, Newsbreak, and Medium.
Yeah, and with the press releases, a lot of people. Well, I just got one of my students sent me one the other day, and I said, "This is not even close to being a press release. It doesn't have a headline. It doesn't have the who, what, where, when, and why stuff. Nothing." So I sent it back to them. Also, one of the things that for a while, and a few years ago, it was more than a few years ago, it was pretty big. There was like these sites coming up that says, "Oh yeah, we'll submit your press release to 10 million places, for 25 cents. That's not going to work. What do you think about that?
So there's a lot of gray areas in press releases, and there's two ways that you can use them effectively for business. And you're right, there are a lot of people on Facebook ads that are really leveraging that. It's a very big gray area because they say, "Oh, we'll get your business on NBC and Fox and CBS, by tomorrow for $97." And so what they really mean, what those ads really do, is they submit the press release. It'll get hung on a hosting site, an affiliate for Fox or CBS, but they're marketing it like you're going to be interviewed on these sites.
Yeah, that's that's fraudulent. That's the Federal Trade Commission has mentioned that. That's fraudulent.
Yeah, and these people, God bless them. I mean, these people fall for this, and they think, "Oh my God, I can get on all these amazing sites and blah blah blah." But it's two different sides of the coin. So whenever I'm like you, Tom. I really believe in ethics. I really believe in being honest. I never want to lead anybody down a path, and I'm always very honest about, okay, if you buy a press release with me, you are going to get hosted on the sites. I will send you the screenshots. You will get visibility and traffic. I mean, it happens all the time. You will get specialized stuff. So I just did one for a guy, and he's in healthcare, and so he appeared in all these healthcare sites, which is great. But I will never ever tell someone, "Oh, this is going to lead to media interviews." Because journalists do use press releases to select interviewees, but, and this is the big but, it doesn't happen nearly as much as these Facebook advertisers would have you believe.
Right.
And so just know what you're getting into. Do press releases have value? Absolutely. But just understand they're going to do a certain thing, and you can use them one of two ways. You can hire a guy like me who will pop them out to hosting sites. I'm on about 6 of them. And yes, they do go out to thousands of sites. I get a PDF that lists every single place with a clickable link. I send screenshots to clients. But the second strategy is to create the press release and then send them to local news agencies and hope it gets either hosted on their site or picked up for a story. And so that increases your chance, is to send a press release to a reporter and ask them if they have an interest in running the story.
Now, do they have to, do the clients have to come up with the hook in the story, or do you assist them with that?
No, I'm completely done for you.
I see.
So if a client comes to me, I get on a call with them. I ask them the strategy of the release. I'm like, okay, what do you want to happen? Because there's a few things. Some people just want, they just want to be affiliated with those brands, CBS, Fox, ABC, Digital Journal, blah, blah, blah. Other people want just some traffic sent to their site. And then other people just need something written about their business. Mm-hmm. They're starting off. They have no internet presence. They have no idea how to get the message out to their audience. And another thing that's cool about press releases, though, is that they last a long time online. And you can actually send them as a sale page to potential clients. And a lot of people don't know this is a strategy. So a press release allows you one link, Tom, and in your marketing world, that link can be a sale page. Mm-hmm. That link can be your website. That link can be your freebie. And a press release can have many strategies. It can be used as an announcement for a business. It can be used as a promotion. It can be used for a book launch. It could be used for, hey, Tom Antion featured in Shift, veteran-owned Shift mm-hmm. magazine. So it can be a lot of different things depending on how you want to corral the strategy.
Now, are you using video and audio in them nowadays?
For press releases, no. Let me scratch that. No, it depends on which service. So for one service, no. For the nice service that I use, EIN, we can embed YouTube videos within them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are some services that allow that. But get to the base, some of the basics, and what do people need to bring to you when they work with you? Because you can't just start with nothing. You interview them to pull the stuff out of them, or tell us how it works if a client comes to you.
So the first thing is like I said, we developed a strategy first, and I just ask them a very simple question. I'm like, okay, what do you want to happen? And I give them, 3 choices of things we can do. And then I ask for their social media links, because I have to look at how they're communicating with the audience, and I have to make sure the customer journey is very clear. So this is something you're great at teaching, Tom, in the marketing world is, can the customer buy from you? Can the customer figure out what you're selling quickly? And can they make a sale without a slow loading web page, or with, a dead link, or, going to somebody's Facebook personal page and it has nothing to do with what they're selling.
Right.
And so, so I want to look at their social media links. I want to look at the ease of purchase. Tom, what's the industry standard? Like 2 clicks for a purchase, right?
I like to get them to like no clicks. They just throw money at me, but yeah. You got to make them click a little bit. Yeah.
Because if you have too many, obviously you got about 8 seconds to capture somebody's attention. And once they lose interest in the sale, it's gone forever. And
it's only 3 seconds on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so, the biggest thing is just finding out what their social media is, what their intent is, and then figuring out the angle at which they want the release written. Because, I've written press releases for all kinds of stuff, for fundraisers. I did one of my more recent ones was a Chinese health clinic that doesn't use drugs in San Mateo County. We did the announcement, and it went out to a lot of places. So it just depends on what the intent is for the client.
Okay, so if I came to you and I said, Rob, my intent for my press release is I want supermodels beating down my front door to get to me, you'd probably turn me down as a client. It's impossible, right?
I wouldn't say impossible. And I like when people give me outlandish yet reasonable requests. And
well, that one might have been outlandish, but the reasonable part I don't think came through.
So if in this hypothetical, I know you're joking, but I'm gonna actually give you an answer for this.
Okay, good.
So in this hypothetical,
all right,
you want supermodels beating down on your door.
Yeah.
The first thing I would do is make the attractive offer. So what are you offering them? And the attractive offer is, hey, I'm going to look at your career. I'm going to help you develop a passive income stream based on your modeling career. And so you'll have a sale page up. I know you can generate those pretty easy. We would release a press release saying, digital multimillionaire Tom Antion announces a specialized income program for models and former models. So once you got to
put supermodel.
Yeah, supermodels. And then I am dead serious. I would go on Twitter once that press release is out. I would go on Twitter and I would start mentioning your hit list of 10 supermodels. And then I would send the press release to their agencies.
See,
and you might be surprised.
I would probably be surprised and shot by my girlfriend when they got here. I'm laying here in a pool of blood. Well, what happened? Oh, well, he was working with Rob Garcia. So what kind of mistakes do you think people make when they try to do press releases on their own?
Try is such a great word.
Yeah.
The first thing they do is they ramble. They don't understand the format of a press release. Believe it or not, there's an industry standard for press releases, and they have to be formatted a certain way. And just right off the bat, I mean, you can find these on the internet, templates and stuff. I had to read about 5 books before I really got a hang of it. But it's headline, subheadline, introductory paragraph, supporting paragraph for announcement, industry statistics, quote, call to action, link, headshot. Boom.
Now, do you do any reviews when people have, in other words, is it all or nothing to hire you? Or if somebody has written one, do you do any coaching or reviews of press releases?
That's a good question. Nobody's brought me a partial. I write my own with stuff that they supply sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I do kind of Frankenstein's monster it.
Yeah.
If they send me like a previous article, or hey, can you pull some info, extract, and then create something out of this. So I do that, but I usually won't rewrite somebody else's work. I have to start from scratch the entire time, because the uploading sites, the hosting sites, some of them have word counts that are very strict. You can't bust the word count, and also you have to optimize for SEO. You have to make it easy to read, and you have to make sure that it flows cleanly.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we'll ask Rob what a typical day looks like for him in paradise there in San Diego, and how he stays motivated. And also, I want to hear the story about how he flunked out of both high school and college. How do you do that? I don't get that. So folks, a couple of things here. I want to remind you about the Patreon to help their scholarship students with disabilities. It's really, really heartening, and they're so inspirational. Two of the people are blind. One of them has started his own business already online, and the one is a disabled school teacher, and they are making great progress, and just so inspirational. So we're making it so they can not only get hired from home or start their own business, they could do both if they wanted to without having to travel. So anything you can help with that, we'd love it. We have a GoFundMe for like one-time contributions, and the Patreon starts as little as $3 a month, and you get, we have over 300 episodes of Screw the Commute that are just training. It's $1 million worth of training if I did it with you one-on-one. And we have over 400 episodes with, great entrepreneurs like Rob. So check that out at screwthecommute.com/Patreon, and help out folks, especially this holiday season. Everybody needs a lift up, and it'll be something you can really be proud to be a part of. All right, let's get back to the main event. We got Rob Garcia here. He's not only flunked out of high school, he, like I said, is a high achiever. He flunked out of college too. I still don't understand that. So tell us that story, and then tell us what a typical day looks like for you now.
Yeah, so basically I just couldn't focus in the classroom. And after about 7 minutes, I start just zoning out pretty hard. And rote memorization never did anything for me. And so as I got older, I started to realize that my learning style was different. It was asymmetrical. And I started realizing that I learned better when I could draw diagrams of stuff, when I could use shapes and colors and just draw goofy pictures of stuff. And once I was able to start drawing diagrams, I had a lot more academic success. And then as I got older and I started getting into some of these really complicated Air Force classes, I mean, I did stuff that was like data link engineering, and I passed, 3 out of 4 of my schools. I passed every test academically, but I had to change the way that I learned. So I started using study groups. I studied 8 hours a day on the weekends when everyone was out partying. I made a lot of flashcards. I found the smartest kid in class and asked them a lot of questions. And that's what I credit to better academic results.
And well, what I don't understand is how do you get into a college to flunk out of it if you didn't graduate high school?
Yeah, the sequence. And okay. So I failed out of high school, and I ended up going to continuation school with the bad kids. And continuation school allows you to get a credit every 7 days for just showing up pretty much and breathing and not stabbing anybody. And so I had enough credits. I've always been a speed reader, and I have a very good vocabulary. And so I was able to get credits really fast, and I ended up failing out of high school. And then a semester later, I was actually able to go back and graduate my senior year and get a diploma with my class, graduate with my class.
All right. Now, sidebar question. Were you a bad kid, or you just had these learning difficulties?
I was never a discipline problem. I couldn't focus. I talked a little bit in class, but I never got in trouble.
Okay, no stabbing, shootings, or beating the. I just saw on TV last night they're beating the hell out of the teachers, and no consequences for it.
Yeah, I was even with a bad family, I was always kind of well behaved. I was always a nice kid. I was real quiet.
Good. All right. So you got to graduate now. Okay, then you went to college and flunked out.
Yeah, I went to junior college. I flunked out one semester, and then I went to Phoenix. I went to DeVry, my second college, and I made it about a year and a half, and I failed out of that too.
Oh, two
And
times. God, you're
oh yeah,
such a high achiever. I didn't realize it flunked out of 2 colleges.
oh yeah, I had problems, Tom. And then I almost failed out of my Air Force tech school,
Uh-oh.
and I made it. It was 9 months of school, B-52 electronics training, and then once I got out of the Air Force and I started building up these learning styles, and I even wrote a book on speed learning, different learning styles and how to incorporate when you're not working well in the classroom for kids with like dyslexia or ADD. And it really just helped me to figure out like what I was doing wrong, and how other kids, asymmetrical learners like myself, can be creatives and do their stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, and then you went on to PhD level. Wow. Amazing story. So, what's a typical day look like for you nowadays?
So I work from home in my decadent Air Force loft in San Diego, and I wake up. I usually do some kind of exercise in the morning. So I go for a jog or I lift weights here. I will usually spend Mondays strategizing. It's my light day on Mondays, so I draw out my social media plan, what I want to do, what I'm promoting. Do I have to do any magazine stuff? Do I have interviews lined up that week? And then so Monday is planning, and then 4 days of execution. And so it's a mixture. Tuesday through Friday is a mixture of client work, project creation, social media creation, media outreach, and then just kind of mapping out future stuff. So it just depends on my mood. And then I usually have some lunch, and then about 5:30 I do a knockoff and pour a nice cocktail.
Knockoff. So it's a lifestyle business, right? Got a beautiful place there in San Diego, and living the life, and very inspirational coming from the beginnings you came from. That's for sure. So how do people get a hold of you, and if they need help with this?
So if they want to reach out to me, they can find me on Facebook, Robert Garcia, or they can Google Rob the Warrior Strategist. And if they want to read my magazine for free, it's shiftlifedesign.com.
Okay, we'll get all that in the show notes, so people are scrambling trying to write stuff down. What was it? Shift what?
Shiftlifedesign.com.
Life design. Okay, and also, folks, Rob's going to be featured on our summit with a totally cool topic that he's actually helping me with right this moment. So we'll make it a surprise for you, but make sure you watch for the Screw the Commute Summit, online summit, totally free. There'll be probably at least 20 sessions. Rob will be a very unique session, I can tell you that. Nobody will duplicate what he's going to talk about. So thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tom. It's great to catch up.
Awesome. So, folks, check out all Rob's stuff. It'll all be in the show notes, all those different things he talked about. And we will catch y'all in the next episode. Get publicity and visibility. Rob will help you. Catch you later.